This is quarterback DJ Williams. Saluki Football Fall Camp coverage is presented by Warm Roof Company, roofing with a purpose. Here's the voice of the Salukis, Luke Martin.
Continuing coverage of Saluki Fall Camp here in 2026, which is brought to you by Borum Roof Company, roofing with a purpose. Our position previews roll along, and we head into the tight end room with our guy, Coach Griff, who's been here every season under head coach Nick Hill. I love saying that, Coach Griff. Every year, man, you know your way around Carbondale better than anybody, don't you?
I do, and every time you say it, I love hearing it too. Yeah. It's a blessing. It is. It truly is.
Look, we're catching up with you in the middle of this grind. That is fall camp. So much is, hey, getting a routine, as coaches, as players. And that's what's great about this time of year is there is a set routine. How do you try to break up that monotony of what is good and being a routine, but also making it unique for the players as much as you can each and every year as you go through this?
I think in coaching, as you get older and you can kind of figure things out, it's all based on where your guys are at mentally, how they're feeling. You can sense when they're tired, and sometimes they need just a little break in the sense of taking time to talk about other things, life, just to breathe and get away from the camp mindset. Tell stories, background, history, just really let the guys joke around and have fun, for a certain amount of time, but then it's time to get to work. But I think it's like anything else. I'm human like them, and sometimes it's take a little 5-minute break. Let's just talk what's going on, what's new, freshmen, getting to know those guys, and that type of stuff. So
look, rule changes happen, I think, every year, and the summer becomes a really big piece to what you guys do. When you think of when you first got here with Coach Hill to now, where would you say how the rules have benefited not just the coaches, but the players in helping your OTAs, helping your summer program, make it a little bit more of a smoother transition into now the fall camp?
Well, it's like anything else. It's they know what to expect once fall camp starts. The OTAs in a sense are a preview of what practice is going to be like. So when you hit the field in fall camp, it's not the first time the structure of meetings or talking football or going out there and stretching as a group. It's just they've done it all summertime. So it's right into it. Instead of trying to teach that from the start, this is what it looks like, this is where we go, all those little details are taken care of. And now it's simply just football. So it's like anything else. It's getting a head start right into it.
You guys have so many coaching friends throughout the country, but obviously you've had multiple different stops in your coaching career outside of just here at SIU. What makes what Mead Smith does in the summer program and even daily throughout fall camp different than any place you've been?
First off, Mead and any strength coach, nobody knows the grind they go through. Everybody thinks coaches, we do a lot, which we do, but those guys are going nonstop. They're with them summertime, fall, anytime, springtime, working them out. And he truly is, our team's in his hands of the preparation. So it's the growth, the development you see from our guys, for example, like a young Conkle or Morty, those young guys coming up, or even Miles going through, is like the change that happened is because of Mead working them out. And, those guys there, you can't replace somebody like Mead Smith.
I don't want to say that it's specific to your position group, but man, of guys where you really see guys maybe come in as boys and eventually turn them in.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a better position group than the tight ends in terms of how you get molded.
Absolutely not. And, Miles Marshall's a perfect example of that, coming in young, had the frame, but slowly with, because it takes time and he stuck to it, is put on the weight, learned everything, got the experience, and look at him now. You see him today. And I was just thinking that as we're watching practices, this guy he's a vet. It looks like he hasn't missed a beat. He's out there, he knows what to do. And the tight end room, you need that time to develop. Just those guys coming in out of high school, they're not as big or as strong as what they need to be, have the frame, but physically aren't there yet. So you have to develop them.
Not that there's a ton of time for you guys to breathe as coaches at any point during the year, but when you did have time to breathe, when you had time to take in last year and ultimately know who you were signing, potentially could bring in through a transfer portal process, what was kind of the main point of emphasis that you felt like Coach Griff was, this is what I want to accomplish going in the spring ball, then ultimately carry over into the summer, and now as you start to stack days towards the start of the year?
Yeah, no, for my room, it was, you lost two of your main guys who were very productive with AJ, and Ryan. And with Miles, he was going to go to grad school or
Yeah.
go to law school. So you basically lost your three guys, and so you had young guys who can do it but haven't done it yet. So where are they going to be? So you're trying to look in the portal for the right guy, not just a guy. And I think that's the thing a lot of people forget is you're not just grabbing a body to get a body. You still got to be picky,
Yeah.
because that person's going to come in, he's going to need your time, your energy. He's going to take reps away from, the three other guys I had, those young dudes that they still need those reps. So it's got to be the right guy. Didn't find the right guy, for whatever reason, it is what it is. Again, the grace of God got Miles back, and it's just been like anything, just taking advantage of the opportunity, the time, the reps to get those guys going.
Look, you can get as many reps and you can be around as long as Miles has and still not be effective. But what's making him effective? What's making this a really productive camp for him?
I think the biggest thing is attitude. They show up, all of them. You're right. You could give a person tons of reps and you just don't see it. But when they show up with the attitude to want to learn, to work hard, to put in the work with me, like they care. At the end of the day, these guys care and want to be that player. That's the biggest thing. That's what separates anybody from being good is you could do all the reps, all the work, but it doesn't matter. You have got to want to do it, and these guys do. That's the difference.
He's back, the savvy veteran, Miles Marshall. As we continue our tight end preview, Miles, how's it feel to be back?
Feels great. It's good to be around the guys. It's just been a fun couple weeks. Good summer. We're really getting along great. It's been a good time.
We've been able to see you grow during your time here, but what's a part of your game that you're most excited to showcase this year that maybe Saluki fans haven't seen yet?
Yeah, I love being a route runner, but I feel like I've grown a lot in my physicality. Of course, I want to make plays down the field, but I want to get it done in the box too.
What's an area for you guys as a tight ends room do you believe is a big strength despite losing guys like, of course, Aiden Quinn and Schwindy?
Yeah, I'd say just kind of mental flexibility. We got a bunch of guys that can play every position on the field. So I think that's going to be an important factor when we get deep into that season, switching roles and just changing things up.
You've been a clear leader of this group. Is it weird to look around and go like, hey, like I'm the leader of this group after so many guys have been staples in that room for multiple years?
Yeah, it's definitely been a role change, but it's something that I'm ready for, and I have a great group of guys that are with me, and it's exciting to take on a new role in this offense and as a team.
Knowing there's been production lost, and you guys aren't the only position group that's in that boat, how would you describe the mindset of you guys of coming into the year of not anything extra, just ready to show that, hey, like we're ready to produce in whatever role can be filled for this group?
Yeah, I don't think it's a cliche to say that it's one day at a time. Building those new relationships, whether it's a connection with DJ or with the O-line, we got to realize that this is our team. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. We're living in the moment, and we're just going to play by play.
As a guy who's had many practices with guys like Conk, Morty, who have been here, they just haven't necessarily got in-game reps. Were you excited to see them get their increased role along with you?
Yeah, no, it's been so fun watching guys like Morty, Conk, Pat, and even the younger guys we just brought in really just get thrown into the fire in such a good way, and they held it down when I was gone, and they're going to continue to do so.
What has you most optimistic about the offense as a whole so far through camp?
I'm really excited about the O-line and the running backs. They're physical and interchangeable. That's how I'm feeling. I feel like anybody that touches that rock is going to do it with a chip on their shoulder. So I'm excited about that.
You've been here on multiple teams and have been on good teams. Where do you feel this offense could be different and better than maybe years past?
It's a good question. I think that we have so much versatility across the board. You look at our receivers, there's no drop-off receiver to receiver. And as I spoke about the offense, and then when you have DJ, he's just a high-caliber player. And we can go far with someone like that.
What do you believe Miles has? I mean, we've been able to see Miles, right? And seen him play and what he brings. But what's something when you get time to meet with him one-on-one, when you get time in that office where you go, hey, I really feel you can show this can be a strength that maybe you haven't shown yet in your career?
I think Miles, every time when you see him out there, people don't realize how athletic he is. He is a big body that can run. Ryan always got the accolades in the sense of athletic, could run and catch. You watch Miles, he's a big, strong dude, and he can run just as well. His blocking has improved phenomenally, so I think just overall getting to see him be able to do the things that you thought some of these other tight ends that was built for them, he can do the exact same thing, so I think that's one of the things for Miles.
Look, whenever you're a local guy like Conk is,
Oh, yeah.
everybody's going to ask about him.
Absolutely.
But man, even when he first came in, I think all of us could see like this guy has got the makeup to really be an important piece to this thing, whenever it would be.
Correct.
Now, as he's continued to develop, where do you go? Yep, this is a guy that I know I can trust and can go out there and be a really big piece.
It's in the meeting room when you ask him questions and he knows what to do. That's the biggest thing. So you trust him, like he knows what's going on each play. Now there's going to be details he has to clean up always, but that's everybody. But he knows what to do, and Conkle is a physical kid, tough kid. I think that's one of the biggest things that you realize when you see that he will not stop no matter what. I mean, he is going nonstop all the time. So he's a hardworking, tough dude.
Outside of just being physical, which is so important within your room,
It is.
what also do you think is a good strength of his and what you're excited to see potentially be on
think
display?
People see he's athletic. He's
Yeah.
explosive. I mean, he runs just as good as anybody on our team, and he's a tight end, 250, and he's moving with backers, safeties. I mean, he can run. He's an athletic kid, explosive.
Continuing the tight ends preview with Carson Conkle, who, man, continue to get some great reps here in fall camp. Conk, just how would you describe your camp to this point, what you've enjoyed about it?
Yeah, I think it's been a good camp so far. We're a couple days in, we've kind of seen what the guys have. We've seen what the defense is bringing now. So we're just working on, getting the whole offense in, working on our technique. And, yeah.
When you first stepped foot into the program, compare it to now of where you've grown the most as a football player and what you're most excited for this year.
So, yeah, since I first got here, it's definitely a huge difference. I came in pretty small, so I had to put on some weight, learn from the older guys in the room. And I came in not knowing much about the tight end, so there was a lot of technique I had to pick up on, in the run game and the pass game. So from then to now, it's a big difference, and I feel like I'm ready to play.
I don't want to say your guys' position group embodies this more than any other on the team, but to me, I think you really see the impact of a guy like Mead Smith within your guys' room, maybe more than any other, because guys truly come in like yourself, maybe look like boys, and eventually get to where you are, where you're a grown man. How impactful is a guy like Mead Smith?
Coach Mead's great. He's the best. I mean, like I said, I came in small, and, a lot of other tight ends, they come in skinnier. So, Mead just does a great job keeping us in the weight room, keeping us on task, and, building us up.
You guys as a room, describe the room, the biggest strengths that you guys have as a tight end unit.
So I think we're just a really tight group, Miles probably talked on this a little, but we crack jokes in the room all the time, we're just really close. So I feel like, us being close and being able to like connect with each other is a huge part of us being a good group.
You're not far down the road where you grew up, how much it means to be able to wear the uniform, to be able to be a part of this program and know, there's a lot of people that take pride in Southern Illinois to watch you play, Conk.
Yeah, hell yeah. Growing up in the area, I've been up here a couple times when I was younger, at the cookouts and the tailgates, my bad.
Yeah.
So I did that growing up, and, it's been huge being able to come here and, play where I watched growing up.
What do you guys believe you can be this year, just in terms of the offense, the excitement level you guys have built? What stood out from fall camp from your perspective?
I think we have a really dynamic offense, a lot of playmakers. Our receivers are really, really good and get open and get off the ball. And our quarterback, he makes plays all the time. So I feel like that's going to be a big part in us going far. And then I feel like everyone else on the field, plays their part, does their job. So
Coach Griff does a great job of explaining it to our fans in the interview that will come out with yours. But, I don't think fans really understand how much is on your guys' plate in terms of the demands of being a tight end. What is the most simplistic way that you can describe of all the things that you guys really have to be aware that make your position such a challenge?
So, like Coach Griff says, we're just a jack of all trades. We have to know the blocking game, the run game, and the receiving game. So, being, fundamentally sound in all of those is really a big part of what makes us, go far.
When you think of guys like you, think of Morty, think of so many within the room that have been here for a while and have gotten some valuable practice time and now get an opportunity to really see in-game reps. What has gotten you guys prepared? What has helped you guys about your experience level that hey, when it comes to kickoff against West Florida, whichever role you guys have, you're going to be ready to fill?
So coming on our third year now, third fall camp now, you know, we've seen everything that the game's about. You know, we haven't played in real games, so we don't have the real experience like you said, but as far as everything else, you know, we get on this field and play against our defense. They're giving their all every day. We give our all every day. So, you know, they're sharpening us, we're sharpening them, and I feel like that's a big part in what's got us ready for a game.
Think of Morty in your room, man, a guy that's also been behind some talented guys, but now excited for him to see him get more roles in practice. What have you seen even from day one for him of how he took notes, how he learned from the veterans in the room to now, hey, there's opportunity to be had and what you see for a guy like him this year?
Yeah, I think Morty is he reminds me a lot, like his journey is so far of Miles Marshall in the sense of, you know, kind of in the back or whatever, but he pays attention. Great teammate, talking to all the freshmen, coaching them up on the sideline, asking good questions, taking notes. When you correct him, he does it right the next time. Again, Mead Smith got him in shape. I mean, he's running better than he ever has before. Physicality, he has the want-to. The technique is the thing he's working on, and you just see him continue. He wants to do it, you know, and progress, and he's learned a lot. Our offense is not easy, and I think that's what stresses these guys a lot in the sense of their mental capacity to be able to operate. And he's continually these last few practices to prove he's picking it up.
Guy, we've seen him in Saluki practices for years now. Aidan Moriarty, big tight end, going to be a big piece to this tight end room for Coach Nate Griffin as he joins us here in our tight end preview. And Morty, let's just talk about your role, man, and how it's expanded. How excited are you just for the expanded role, and how ready you feel you are for this season?
Yeah, no, I'm extremely excited. You know, the past 2 years I've been behind AJ, Miles, Hogue, Schwindy, all of them. And just to be able to finally get that chance to be on the field and actually show what I was brought here to do, you know, catch the ball, block. I'm super excited to just get out there and show what I can do.
What's something from day one when you were behind all those guys as you described, that whether it was a meeting room, taking notes, what's something you still go back to that holds true still today and still helps you out in fall camp?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Definitely, they kind of taught me just how to be a college tight end, but like it's so much different from a high school tight end to a college tight end. Just the physicality part of it. Like in high school, you're bigger than everyone, everything like that. And in college, everyone was the biggest guy on their team. Everyone was the best guy on their team. So just being really them showing me how to be a physical football player and just be able to take a hit because it's gonna happen. I mean, guys like Beamer, Presto, just coming off the edge, you're gonna get smacked one day. I mean, it's just bound to happen. So be able to take those hits back to back and just be able to get up and just keep working.
And you get to deal out the hits too, from
to
time to time. Where do you feel you've grown in terms of your physicality and in that area, bringing it to practice in this team?
Yeah, definitely. When I first got here, you know, I was kind of just like a one punch and just unfortunately let my guy go. But now I'm definitely, with Coach Griff's help, just be able to stay on blocks longer and definitely just be able to keep the play alive longer than how it has been in my first 2 years.
Even though guys like Schwindy and AJ are gone, what gives you guys a lot of optimism in the tight end room that, hey, we're still going to produce and we're still going to do it at a high level?
Yeah, I mean, our mindset in the tight end room is next guy up, always ready. I mean, that's what we say at the end of practice, 1, 2, 3, always ready. So, like, I think every single person in this room could be game caliber ready and just be able to go out and produce. Yeah, those guys produce pretty well, but again, you're not going to have those guys forever. So, so Coach Griff was definitely building us up underground with them, and I think he did a great job, and I think he prepared us for the best.
What would you say has been a big focus for you personally when you went after this offseason into the spring ball, OTAs? What's been a main focus for you?
Definitely just get the small details of the playbook down. I mean, I had the playbook down to a broad aspect, but just be able to get those minute details in there and just to be able to different fronts, different coverages, all that, and just that, and honestly speed. Yeah.
It's a big challenge when you think of everything that's on your guys' plate. What has been a really productive way for you to know that it is a lot to comprehend, but to learn it as quickly as you can and to make sure as you can make it as somewhat simplistic as possible?
Just know that it's going to be hard when you first get there. Obviously, you just get thrown a playbook and you're like, all right, here, study it, have fun. But definitely Griff, we always have memory pegs for plays and everything like that. So it definitely is easier. You can just go back to that memory peg that we went to back in meeting, 3, and just be able to refer back to that and refer back to Griff, knowing that if you do mess up, it's going to happen. You're humans, college football. So just be able to go next play mentality and just be able to keep producing.
I think what's been great about camp so far is you guys have had really productive days. The defense has had good days. It's gone back and forth. How do you guys keep it a steady ship of not riding the high emotion of, hey, if it's a really good day, to ride over the highs, and also if it's not maybe a great day, don't get too low?
Yeah, especially with the good days. Coach Hill said you want to validate the practice. If you have one good practice, you want to be able to validate it with the next practice. So just be able to stack good days upon good days, and then with the lows, obviously, again, it's college football. You're never going to be perfect. So I mean, there's going to be lows, but you can't ride the lows too low, and you can't ride the highs too long. So just being able to find that happy median. So like if we had a okay practice, not our best practice, we go back to the film room, clean it up, and then it's just new mentality going out to next practice.
I'm sure you get asked a question like this all the time, like we do, like everybody does. I mean, how does everybody look? How's the team look? And ultimately, we don't know the gauge until you go up against somebody else.
Yeah.
But taking that part out of it, what is the most optimistic thing as a whole of the team, offense, defense, that going through camp? I don't know if it's a small thing, but you can tell, like, man, like, I don't know maybe where it will end up, but we're moving in the right direction as a group.
Yeah, I would say definitely just the physicality against each other. I mean, it's so physical in that box, especially goal line like we did today, goal line period. It's just, I think we have a defense and offense have a great mindset of, yeah, it's a battle in practice, but at the end of the day, we're all teammates. The first game in West Florida, we're going to be on the same sideline together, and just be able to, I guess, again, find that happy median of between like enemies and teammates, and just be able to have that mindset.
Not that I'm trying to equate your shoes to a fan, or even my perspective of being a broadcaster, but what's something that you guys do in your tight end room? What's expected within this specific offense with Coach Hill that gets overlooked from a person that may not be there every day of, look, this is why it's hard for these dudes?
Well, I think when people think about tight ends, you think about stretching the field, catching balls, big bodies, mismatches in the red zone, jump balls, that type of stuff. But people aren't out of practice when you're lining up probably like across the formation from a DN that is strong and physical, and you have to run at him as fast as you can, put your shoulder in him, you know what I mean, and stop him and move him. Not once, not twice, but as many times that it's called on. And then the same deal, pulling and trying to hat up our linebackers who are coming downhill trying to take your face off, is physical nonstop all day. So I think that's the biggest part a lot of people don't realize is the grind, the banging they take on, daily. It's tough.
What's most encouraging about the young freshmen and the youth of your group within your room so far in camp?
I think we talked about this last year. When I'm looking for guys, they look the part. That's a big thing, a big deal, because you got to physically be there. Then you got to act the part in the sense of you have the tool set we're looking for. It might not be polished, but it's there. You look at Jack, you look at Levi, you look at Ethan. They all have the size. They all can move well. Right now, they're showing they will put their face on you. Technique, how they do it is something that will continually you'll get better at, but they have the 1-2 as well.
Continuing our tight end preview as Patrick Carr joins us. Pat, man, I know it's been a long road for you to get back, to be healthy, to be back out here at camp. Just what's the joy? Just been back practicing, and how do you feel as you survive the first day of full pads?
I mean, it was definitely a big roadblock when my ankle hurt during the summer. I mean, it felt like every day I was just, I was in the training room doing something, getting needles, cups, anything to make it better. And I feel like right after my break from summer, I got back to spring ball, and it was kind of just gone, and that's just been huge for me because I feel like I've been able to play to my full ability out on the field.
How would you describe your role in the tight ends room and what you enjoy about that role?
I definitely felt like I had a bigger role before Miles came back, just because there was only 3 of us, and then Miles came back. There's 3 more tight ends, now there's 4 of us. So I definitely feel like I've taken a step back, and that with me is fine because I feel like Miles being back gives me more opportunity to learn from more of a vet, and that'll help me in the long run instead of just, no really experience in the tight end room. So I feel like my role now is kind of more of like, maybe get on some special teams, maybe get on like 14 personnel or something like that. But other than that, just doing what I can to help the team.
There are so many aspects that you guys are involved in. Can you even describe the dynamics of what being a tight end is, the responsibilities that you have, and how much it's really on your guys' plate?
I mean, yeah, there's formations where we'll line up all the way out wide in the slot, wing, backfield. I mean, we're everywhere on the field, whether it's blocking, catching a ball. We got screen passes for the tight end. I mean, we do everything. So just learning the playbook and, getting all the plays down kind of gives you confidence that just, it'll take you far. It'll take you very far.
It's been a common question I've asked every year since I've been here. Where does Coach Griff have the biggest impact for you guys?
I think he's just very knowledgeable and very experienced. So, it's easy to trust him and what he says. So just coming in, he has high energy, good, positive personality. It's just it's fun to be a tight end. So, yeah, I think that's what it is.
Even though guys like Schwindy and AJ are gone, still seems like, and as you said, your kind of role changed when Miles came back. But even though Miles is a known commodity, there's still a lot of unknowns from an outside perspective. Mm-hmm. But how confident are you guys internally with what you see every day of, you know what, we understand we lost a lot, but we're encouraged by the guys who are here?
I mean, yeah, they definitely set a good standard for us. And I feel like ever since that I've been here, I've seen Morty grow a lot, I've seen Kunkel grow a lot, and I've even seen Miles grow a lot just in the few practices he's been back. And especially in myself, if I go back to last fall camp, I was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And now I feel I got this confidence, I can go and do it. Whatever Coach Griff, Coach Hill asked me to do, I'll go out there and do it 100%.
You have seen a lot of special guys throughout your time here at SIU, and you've had guys that have had to fill multiple different roles. I know he may not be classified as a quote-unquote tight end, but I see you have a lot of conversations with a guy like Lim Wash in practice. What has stood out about Lim and what makes him outside of just his? I know, and that's a good laugh.
It is. He's a stud. I mean, I think those conversations are very short because he's super intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude is playing running back, wildcat quarterback, tight end. I mean, and just in our room is a lot that's asked of him. You install one thing right away, he's got it. He messes up one thing, you correct it, he's good to go. Going from running back to, again, like I said, what is the one thing people don't realize a tight end does? It's the physical aspect of it, and he's doing the same thing. He's swiping, on D ends, he's pulling for linebackers, and he doesn't bat an eye. He doesn't question it. He wants more. I mean, his will to do anything is phenomenal.
It was brought up in Coach Lindy's interview, Michael Lindauer, of what I was just so impressed about with Lim last year was never complained, one time. And look, it's easy and even for a guy in my role where you just kind of stay on the sidelines during practice, you can occasionally hear a guy mope or two.
Oh yeah.
And especially when things aren't going their way. Never with him. How does he help, even though he's not the most vocal guy?
Yeah.
But how does he really truly lead by example in his actions?
When you see that as a player, I believe it's all right, this guy is doing multiple roles. I'm asked to do this one thing, right? And I'm complaining about it, or maybe I'm not. This guy's asked to do 3 things and he doesn't say a word. So it's how can I complain when this guy has way more on his plate, a lot more pressure, a lot more stresses, and he doesn't say a word. He goes about his business. I mean, I think that speaks highly. And as a player, it'd be all right, maybe I don't need to complain as much.
Yeah.
This guy, and especially when you see him and he's making plays, it's this guy is just as good as anybody else, and he's on the sideline sometimes, and he still has a positive attitude. It's all right, I'm going to take a note of that if I'm another player.
It's really hard, Coach Griff, to find the right balance from a player and persona perspective of being a great first-class human off the field, and when you're on the field to be a killer.
Yeah.
To me, DJ Williams, and we're catching up with you after a practice here on Saturday. Today, you could just clearly tell from the start, he was I'm taking control of today.
Yeah.
Had that killer mindset.
Yeah.
What to you, when you get to see him in meeting rooms, when you get a chance to not just see him out on the field, how is he able to do that? To be a very likable guy, to anyone can go up to him and have a conversation. But when it's time to get serious, it's very serious for him.
I think it's just the nature of the sport. I think we've all been raised in the sense of when you step on the field, it's a different game, right? Like you said, you need to flip that switch because it's a physical game, right? And there are times that you got to dig deep and you got to be a little bit nasty and you got to play, or you got to, get people in line. But I think he's able to do that and then flip the switch because he is a good person. He's a great young man, so he's able to have those relationships before you go onto the field and flip that switch, where if it does happen to come across, it's like, that's just him. Game day, we all get like that,
There are so many great personalities within the offensive staff for you guys, but which we can talk about that all day long. But when it comes to the football side, how do you guys all mold together? Granted, every team should resemble their head coach in a way.
Correct. Yep.
But what do you like about Coach Hill's style that incorporates all of you? That when it's Coach Hill, his brother now joining, Lindy, Dan, you, Larry, how does he do in terms of incorporating all of you to be a unified front as an offense?
Yeah, no, he asked for our opinion, and you're not afraid to speak your mind or say, hey, let's do this, let's do that. Doesn't mean we're going to do it, but it means something when you're able to do that, like to speak up. I like this play. He'll always ask your opinion. Coach Clark, what do you think about this? What we need to run here, route-wise, this or that, and so everybody has a say if they want to. Doesn't mean we're always just thrown out there because then everybody's talking, but it's an open table. But at the end of the day, like you said, he'll always be like, because he is the head coach, the OC, all right, taking all those considerations, but I'm thinking about this is what we're going to do. All good. That he's the leader, will go as he goes.
You work with every position on this team on the offensive side of the ball because of how intertwined the tight ends are. Well, as you look in the chops of how that running back room looks, and especially in terms of all the different guys that have an opportunity to carry the football.
Man, I told my guys the other day, it's like, we don't have to give them much room. As a coach, we were preaching, we want to give them all the room as far as being physical and all moving people and all that. But it's like, you watch these guys rip off runs left and right. And it's like, who was that? That was it. Who was that? That was Chandler. Quay's coming up, and it's like young DJ. I mean, there's tons of them. Lem. It's like one after the other is just going. So it's exciting. I love the running backs. Having coached it before, but there's a little pride in that and enjoyable, and they're physical. The way they do it's fun to watch.
It's and I say this, jokingly when it comes to Coach Warner, obviously, but as you guys want your decisions to be really hard.
Yeah.
Because the harder the decisions are in terms of how really strong players are, the better the team is going to be in the end. But man, how's the optimism with you guys as a staff when you meet and you guys are all watching film and you're going, these are going to be tough decisions.
They are.
You're going to have to
make
here.
They are. And that's where the coaching comes in. How do you handle those conversations? How do you maintain those attitudes? Or because people will get, a little frustrated. And that's where the coaching comes in to keep everybody still locked in, pushing forward, going, because you and I both know you're one play away. So even though you might not be the guy right now, you can't get down. You still got to keep improving. You still got to get better because your number may be called and you want to be prepared for that. So it's a good thing, but it's not an easy thing as a coach because, like you said, you're getting ready to have those conversations, and those are tough sometimes.
Look, you guys are one of the unique sports on this campus where if you're going to win your league, you have a chance to win the national championship. And that's a rarity when you look around just in terms of our landscape. So you know that everybody knows the battles that are about to come and how strong and physical you have to be throughout the year. But how much do you guys as a staff to your team not focus on what's being said? It's the actions that you guys are taking now to hope that those will ultimately turn the results here starting here at the end of August.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything else, and you kind of get used to it, and you talk about it all the time. It's like the outside voices don't matter. Right. It's all about what we're doing here. Coach Hill talks about the process, and just what can you do right now? That's what's important. Be here now. Tomorrow will take care of itself. All that stuff, the games will come, this and that, but just keep going.
Coach Watson, who joins me during our basketball season, Rodney would always tell me, like, Luke, if you had asked me in the summer or told me in the summer, hey, we're going to go to the Sweet 16 and we're going to take Kansas to the wire, I would have told you the Sweet 16 of what? Which when you're in the midst of it as a coach, it just means it's like you're always looking at that internal improvement, understanding that as we're here in August. what does, Griff, just give you just the optimism that this group has everything in front of them of what they want to accomplish here once this thing starts here in August?
You know, it is like coming back and you hear from Meade, you know, our strength coach, and the report he gave throughout the summer all the time about this group and how they're focused and they're working and they just do what they're supposed to and they're grinding. You know, that's a big, you know, indicator of what this group is going to be like. Obviously, when you have a player like DJ, a quarterback who can make a lot of plays, and just a good group of guys, when you're out there, every group is filled with phenomenal men that love what they do, that are taking the field. I mean, you get out there, you know, pre-practice and every position is out there drilling already, talking about something. Haven't seen that a whole lot. You know, this is like, not to say, you know, sometimes you got meetings are going longer, but everybody is ready to go. No players are dragging because everybody's out there and excited. I mean, there's just a sense of team, a sense of unity, a sense of excitement that I think our players understand is they're good. You know, they are a good group of guys, and, you know, you never know what's going to happen, but they're willing to fight, and that's a big part of it.
All jokes aside, when I see on your guys' schedule, you know, OTF, which is on the field at 8:45 and like 8:10, and everybody's starting to walk out early, you're like, man, they're ready to go today.
Ready to go, man. We are. We got a lot of things to get going, right? A lot of things to work on.
No doubt, Coach Griff, and that's why we'll cut it here. Appreciate the time, as always, and excited to see your group just continue to build, and it will be week 1 here in a blink of an eye. Appreciate the time, Coach Griff.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Once again, that's our guy, Coach Nathan Griffin, here at Saluki Football for our tight end preview. We'll be back with more Saluki Nation as our fall camp coverage is presented by Bourne Roof Company, roofing with a purpose. Go Dogs!
This has been Saluki Royalty, the official podcast for Saluki Athletics. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review however you listen. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Saluki Sports Network.